Hello, everybody, and I am here this week to talk about cord cuttings. These are super, super important, and there's many different ways to do cord cuttings, just like there's many different types of cords. And so just in case you don't know, what cords are, I'll go like very lightly into it. We've got different types of cords. We've got emotional cords, energetic cords, there's sexual cords, with people that we've been intimate with. So there's thought cords, there's cords to old places that maybe we haven't been in 20 years, but we still have that connection to it. People that we haven't seen in decades, yet we think of them, and maybe that makes them think of us, and then all of a sudden you'll get like a text or an email and like, whoa, where did that come from? Haven't talked to them in decades, and yet I thought of them and here they are. So and sometimes it can even be like, oh, I've been thinking about that person, and then boom, you guys like see each other at some random place. Could be on the other side of the world, right? But that's how cords work. We're always kind of attached to these people, places, and things. And so a lot of times it's great. It's like, oh, I love that person, yay, I get to see them. Sometimes it's not so great when it's like somebody who's been abusive to you, or you've left that relationship for a reason, or you left that job for a reason, and you don't want to keep bumping into them emotionally, energetically, or literally physically sometimes. So cord cuttings, there's so many different ways. I like to use all the different elements within my cord cuttings. Obviously, my favorite is fire, and I offer bullshit bonfires, and I do those. I've done literally hundreds, if not 1,000 of those in the past 30 years, and I've done it for like big groups, the biggest being like 2,000 people worldwide, everybody on Zoom, and small ones, one-on-one. I offer bullshit bonfires one-on-one for people. And within my bullshit bonfires, I like to like really get into it, like not just cut the cord, but also plant a seed. Kind of like how I was talking last week about, you don't want to just smudge your house and clear your house. You want to plant like an intention of what you actually want. Same thing with a cord, like we want to, cut the cord to the bullshit, right? To the things that we don't want anymore. But we also want to plant a seed to take its place. And so you're fulfilled. Cords are energy, even if they're bad, right? So it's this form of energy. So after I do a cord cutting on somebody energetically, a lot of times they feel tired afterwards, because even if it's not energy you want, it's still energy coming at you. And so when that energy is lifted and stopped, then your body has to kind of like, oh, okay, this is what it feels like without that energy. Anger is an energy, like rage is an energy. Sadness is also an energy, right? So when that gets lifted, we want to make sure to put something like happiness, abundance, joy, like whatever it is that you want to be feeling instead, we want to instill that. And so the way I do that is through hypnosis. So it's like, using the fire to cut the cords, using the Reiki to cut the cords, also using the Reiki to plant the seeds, and the hypnosis to really like set it in place. So that is my big, cord cutting, is the bullshit bonfire. But there's also smaller ways in which you can do your own cord cuttings as well. It could be as simple as, writing a letter to a person that you really just want to like, cut ties with. And you're not necessarily, this could be a person who's dead too, right? I mean, we sometimes need to cut ties to the old emotional baggage that comes with somebody who's not even on this earth anymore. And so writing the letter and stating, like being very clear, like I take back my energy, I cut all cords, however you want to say it in your own words, and I bring my energy back to me. And I like to visualize, like the higher self of that person and the higher self of you, and imagine that cord and you taking back that energy through the cord into you, and then cutting it out. You can clap like that. You can make a noise, with bells. There's, you do something like cut the cord, like whenever, a loud noise is a good cord cutter because it takes your focus away from like, whoa, what was that? Um, Also, we can use water. There's this cool paper that you can get that dissolves in water, right? And so you can write whatever it is that you're cutting the cord to on that paper. And, I like to release it into the ocean, right? Just like take that little dissolving paper, put it into the ocean. If you don't have an ocean near you, you can do the same thing with a stream. You don't even have to get the water or the paper. Actually, you could go on a hike, find some leaves that are on the ground, some natural leaves of that area. And I always have a Sharpie with me for this particular ritual, and I'll write on the leaves the things that I'm releasing, the cords that I'm cutting, and then put it into the water and watch the leaves be taken away by nature. Earth, you can use earth to bury, like have a funeral for the thing. Whatever it is, this old idea of yourself, this old, place that you used to have to go, this old person who, is taking energy from you. Write their name on a piece of paper and say, I take back my energy, the cords are cut, and then boom, bury it in the earth, and the earth holds that for you, and it takes it off of you. Many different ways to do cord cuttings. So, even using air, if I'm feeling like an emotion or just feeling off, I'll do some breath work just to like blow it out, and I imagine like black smoke coming out, that person coming out, or that emotion or that thing or whatever it is. And, just sit for a few minutes and just like big breaths, like not just like, like just really getting it out there. So all of the elements are there to help you, cut these cords. The big one too is spirit, right? The fifth element of spirit, literally giving it to spirit and just saying, whoever spirit is for you, and just saying like, I've tried, I've used all the earthly realm as much as I can, and I'm still feeling this thing. Take it. I give it back to you. I take back my energy. Give me back my energy. Maybe do it before you go to sleep, to allow yourself to just like release consciousness too, and have the work be done in the astral, have it be done in the dream world. And maybe you'll even have a dream of that person like going away, or, you never know. But cord cuttings are simple. And they can also be very involved, right? Like the bullshit bonfire that I offer is 2 hours. It's one-on-one work with me, getting Reiki, getting hypnosis, doing the cord cutting, burning stuff. We actually use fire, and we do this online, just meeting on Zoom, and also tarot. So like I basically take everything that I offer in the Healing Woods and like condense it into this beautiful online experience for you. So if you're interested in doing, a bullshit bonfire with me, I would love to have you, and you can check the link out to book one. And no matter what, you guys start releasing, because the more you release, the more room you're going to have to bring in the things that you actually love, want, and desire and deserve in your life. All right, guys, have a wonderful day.